All right, folks, welcome back. Thank you very much for watching that small break. We're already in the lobby. Didn't take too much time to set up. Frost is going to be the first map between these two. And again, just reminding everybody that this is a TVZ. It'll be the first time we're seeing Terran in this entire qualifier, actually, as we didn't get to cast HeroMarine at all yesterday.
No, we did not. Oh, I need an Advil. Oh, the mahogany's 2 minutes.
Okay, well, that works for us. In the meanwhile, whilst we're waiting, so a couple things to talk about outside of this tournament, guys. First and foremost, whether you're casual at the game who can't play better than Bronze League, or whether you're a Masters League player out there kind of chiming in and tuning in, you should know that the 2v2 dynamic of StarCraft 2 is a very different skill set and different skill level, completely and independent of regular StarCraft. This weekend, while Zombie gone at Kings of the North, I'm going to be hosting a 2v2 tournament on Sunday. And I would hope to see some of you guys show up, tune in, and maybe even play in said tournament.
Oh,
You okay?
I don't feel great. I feel like there's something... Like, you know how like when you get the flu, your body kind of aches, you know, all over?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like right now. And like I didn't work out. It's like a workout soreness. It is just like an aching in like the chest and like kind of in the stomach and like in the shoulders and the neck. And I don't like it. Overall, it feels very uncomfortable.
Sounds like you just need a good massage.
I got one like a week ago. They cost so much.
They do. I wish
2
I could
weeks
get
ago.
one. I still can't because my bones aren't good enough. It sucks.
Your bones. Bones aren't good enough. That's
Well,
interesting.
my collarbone apparently can't stand the pressure. It's not recommended or something.
Oh. Well, okay, I can get that. I was gonna say, I mean, there are specific massages, like just the arms. or
Well,
the
so I was
forearms,
kind of
but-
hoping like that's what physio would be, right? Like you go to physiotherapy, they're like, here, we're gonna like, oh, your elbow's a problem. We're gonna like do some light exercises, maybe massage it afterwards, take care of it, you know? No, physio's like, all right, I need you to lift this like really tiny weight and move your arm, twist it this way. Now do that 40 more times. Great. By the way, that'll be $100.
Yeah, there are some really crappy ones, I will say. Like, I went to a massage, or not massage therapist, a physical trainer, whatever, the thing you're talking about. PT.
Physical
There you go.
therapist. Yes. Go on.
PT, and like she would only ever like do anything on like my forearm, which yeah, it did hurt, but it took me like years and talking to other people to realize that she was just like, I don't know, it was like not the main problem, right? Like the forearm was the the symptom, but the actual like reason for it was all the shoulders and the neck. But we went to another place. They were amazing. They didn't just teach me like the exercises, they actually did the massages and like the warm body wrap where they like kind of like cover you in like things, and then they turn it on and just like a nice little like warm blanket of like heavy stuff. I don't know if you've had that experience yet, but
No, but that sounds incredibly comfy.
and then it was really hot and uncomfortable, so it's like the give and take.
So it's like a sauna in general.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it.
Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WESG German qualifiers. We're getting to another match, but this is still the winner's bracket. It's the other semifinals. Winner of this will go on to fight against Showtime. Spawning in the bottom right side, we got the blue Terran. Give it up for HeroMarine.
In the top right, as the red Zerg, he is Lambo.
I wonder if HeroMarine is the youngest player currently contending.
For
this qualifier, excuse me.
Oh, I was like, no.
No, I mean, like, yeah, there's people out there like Rainer and others who are younger than him. Apparently Rainer's brother, too, who's even younger than him. What the fuck? But, no, it's just a bit of a thought for this, because normally, I guess I don't really associate a lot about players' age, but for a long time, there's a lot of emphasis on HeroMarine being such a young player when it comes to StarCraft 2.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's the youngest in this tournament. Not that I really knew the other guys, you know, the pub cracker, or... Oh, that's the only one I didn't know. Oh, there was a second one I didn't know.
Seem to know him pretty well for someone you don't know.
That his name is Pub Cracker?
Caught
I mean...
in your own lie. How does it feel?
Wikipedia. Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't feel great. I don't know.
Yo, it's weird. I think about this dynamic when we're casting sometimes, and it's not something that like rises to the surface. This is really like an afterthought, but there's this notion that like, okay, if I'm with a group of like 5 friends and I tell a lie, I feel like a lot of pressure about it, or I feel like an asshole, right? But then I'm like, if I were to tell you guys a lie to the stream, 2,000, 3,000 people tuning in, doesn't bother me in the slightest. Not that I actively go around lying to the stream, but if I'm just like, hey guys, did you know Zomgrib's actually a guy? Some transgender stuff going on. Like, there's no guilt with that lie, despite the fact that I'm telling so many people. But maybe there's no guilt because it's the truth.
I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Well, my question was, does it ever like hit you where you're like, you're doing blank, like whether it's lying or otherwise, to such a large number of people?
No.
Right? And why is there that disconnect? Because again, like in person, whether it's lying, high-fiving, or celebrating on the positive side of it, right? Like in person to like a small amount of people, it's a big deal. But like online, I'm like, what's up? 10,000 people tuning in for a DreamHack cast? Guess what? You're all butts. Deal with it.
Well, I mean, the same reason that anyone feels comfortable being a totally racist. They're against raisins. Racist, like, asshole on the internet.
I
but
actually am against raisins. Fuck raisins. I hate raisins.
I like raisins.
You know what the worst part of raisins are? They take the jobs of chocolate chips.
That's why you're racist.
We need to build a wall and keep them out.
That's pretty good.
Thank you, Haplo42. Thank you, Haplo42, for the 8-month resub. Thanks, BaseTradeTV. Feel better, Zombie Grub. Drink water and sleep.
You know how often you bite into a chocolate chip cookie and there's just damn raisins.
Son of a bitch. Okay, we actually have some pretty cool stuff cooking up, by the way, so while we've done a bit of sillying around. The 4 Hellions is not that weird, to be honest. We've actually been seeing Hellions make a bit of a comeback. Some players even reaching for mech. However, it's the Cloaked Banshee that I'm very interested in. And we'll discuss that more in a moment. These Hellions will be controlled really nicely. Lambo does pull some drones to surround them, though, and that will stop their reign of terror. 5 Hellions? Or 5 drones, excuse me. Not exactly worth the kills, but still not bad.
Yeah, not bad. What is interesting, though, is, like, what Lambo's going to think after seeing those Hellions. So that was his only scouting so far.
Well, Sport Crawlers come down, and I don't think this is an expectation of a Cloaked Banshee, per se. It'll work, but it's more so you want these for Liberators anyhow, right? Just to keep them off your base. Thank you, Catla13, by the way, 2 months. Says, thanks for being amazing. You too. Thanks for being super awesome and supporting us for 2 months.
Yay.
Anyways, going back to the Cloaked Banshee thing, once in a while we'll see one of these Banshees, and they'll rack up like 9 or 12 kills. And you're like, damn, that's sexy. Doesn't quite do the same job as a Liberator for zoning off minerals, but can get a lot more kills. Not here, though.
Oh,
RIP.
Yeah, who would have expected a Sport Crawler right there? Nicely done by Lambo. HeroMarine, of course, just he went in a little bit early, too, before Cook was down. That did not help, but it is an interesting opener. I really, as far as the Hellion Banshee opener goes, if you're not going to go in a mech, I don't really like it.
I can't remember who it was. By the way, so it is, speaking of which, it's all bio. Lots of buildings come down, production coming up. I can't remember who it was, but they kept their 2 Banshees alive and cleaned up a lot of creep tumors with them. And I actually really liked that use of them instead of dying for the extra 2 drones that you could otherwise get, right? I think that there is no safer way to clean up creep, generally speaking, than with a Banshee.
That there's that, and sometimes I think it is better just to use it for that, but I think that's multiple players can sometimes use it like that. I don't know who specifically you're talking about, but it has seemed that most Banshee builds it's been a long time since they've really done a true impressive amount of damage. I think the last time they were truly impressive was when they were paired up with Hellbats, and like that combination is just really hard to deal with just pure Queen, like in Heart of the Swarm. But I haven't seen that in Legacy Board, actually. And just Banshees by themselves, accompanying tanky units, especially with the clean range buff, just cannot get much done. And it takes away it delays all your gas tech for so long. I wonder if it really is worth... I'm guessing the map control is what's worth. The making sure you're not dying to roaches, you don't die to Ling Floods either because you still have a couple of Hellions. But you could have had much faster production in the drops going on, for instance, right now. You could have had a drop a minute and a half ago, but...
Or the double drops, more importantly, which just seem to be so darn effective. Now, additional Hellions were made on top of the initial 4. This is actually really weird. Actually, it's not so insane that you're like, oh, mind blown craziness, but 4 Hellions will help a ton in terms of like just chewing away at those lings.
He should already have an armory. And those should be yeah, but oh, there it goes.
I agree about the Hellbat aspect of this, by the way, but even then, having mobile Hellions isn't too bad for this particular situation where it's like a tentative fight, not a dedicated one, but looks like he is going to fall back. Hellions are going to go down, and this Bioforce needs to be picked up. Banshee, meanwhile, actually picks off the Queen, slowly but surely.
Should be able to transfuse. There we go. So, the other thing he needed an armory was, like, his 1-1's already done. So, he's delayed that upgrade by about 30 seconds at least. That's assuming that he immediately starts 2-2, and that could be a fairly big deal. Like, if you know they're going to get to Hive soon, and Lambo's already, on his way to an infestation pit, and you got to attack before then, it's always better to have the faster upgrades, right? It sometimes is not possible just with the build you did, but it is a better feeling to know, like, you're hitting this perfect timing. And unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen here. I mean, he does start to attack pretty quickly, but of course Lambo's already on his way to +2 attack. Didn't get +2 carapace, it isn't bothering to, so I don't know if he just mistakenly thought he already has it, which is a bit of a problem, or he's experimenting with only going for 1 upgrade. I want to say they just kind of forgot the upgrade, but oh well. Lings actually do get into the 3rd base. That's much the natural.
Unfortunately, these are getting some kills too. Medevac's coming to try and assist, and looks like these will get cleaned up. Not crazy amounts of damage, but damage nonetheless.
No. I still got a chunk of Lings over here that can threaten. Oh, Medevacs were rallied. Whoopsie.
I'm actually really worried. HeroMarine's position's not looking so hot. He's not anywhere close to production, much less upgrades to contest Hive Tag.
And he also didn't get... Oh, there's the armor. It took a while.
Yeah, this looks troublesome. That's a lot of Banelings coming in from Lambo. I went into this with a lot of favoritism towards HeroMarine. In this first game, though, not looking so hot for him.
It's not. We talked about a bunch of other stuff first, and then we had to talk about the Banshee opener, but HeroMarine actually had a fairly decent run in... Okay, we'll talk about that after. Big swamp points here. Doesn't really...
That one Widowmine hit almost made up for how bad the engagement went, but
almost.
Still not quite enough.
Yeah. But in the, what was it, the Keswick Cup qualifiers? He got pretty close to the end.
Yeah.
He got beat by Nurchio twice, is what happened, which, no one can fault him for that.
No,
but
dude,
he beat Snoot, for instance. He beat Snoot really convincingly.
Koreans can't even beat Nurchio right now. Are you kidding me? Like, watch out.
Yeah.
Stimming back with these Marauders. I mean, a lot of this fight's going off of creep. I think Lambo recognizes that too, hence his decision to fall back. But man, while this goes on, there's like a Ling counterattack set up down here. There's another base being taken up here to the north. He's not feeling too pressured to continue expanding. My concern, though, is his army supply is really starting to hurt for this. These engagements at first were great. Now he's not really trading out so well.
I am worried as well. His Hive finished and he started the upgrades, but he did not slap down the Ultralisk Cavern, and he might just die for that. Like,
okay, well, this is where HeroMarine starts shining, I guess. Widowmines take out a couple of the... the Banelings take out the Widowmines. Continue to advance forward. 10 Marines at a time is a really nice number to see. One Baneling in the backside gets picked off. No explosion on the Marines, and Lambo's just lost!
He doesn't have any backup Banelings. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is if he's down 20 army supply, that's, pretty bad, but if he had Banelings on creep, he still pushed us back. You wait for the Ultras, bam, they pop out, but he took 2 good engagements and just thought he was in the situation, I suppose.
Yeah. Nicely done. So a 1-0 here for the Terran. And like I said, guys, pray for the Terran. I got some favoritism for HeroMarine for a lot of other reasons, but this will still be an interesting game too coming up. Because Lambo could, by the way, pull a TLO, just super all in, catch him off guard, and tie it up 1-1, depending on what the map is. Question that was asked in chat though during the end of that game from Fightin' Freaks is BaseTradeTV, do you still do Ting tournaments? So there's 2 answers to this. One is we still have plans to do another Ting tournament. We've actually been in constant talks with Jesse. He's excited. We all want to do stuff like after BlizzCon. He's going to BlizzCon. We're actually going to super plan things out at BlizzCon for like a big Ting Season 3. But we actually have an Overwatch tournament coming up with Ting in October. We haven't really posted anything publicly about it yet, but it'll be the 8th and 9th of October. We'll be holding some Overwatch qualifiers for Ting Overwatch events. That being said, everything Overwatch or regardless StarCraft or whatever, all still funnels to bttv.ting.com. So you can still get money off for signing up for Ting. You can still support us in the process and help Ting out by using that link. Let's see here. Next map coming up is King Sejong. What a surprise!
Yeah, I thought you were gonna answer that quicker. I would have interjected.
That was lobby was taking a while load.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Also, I guess in fairness, I did say this before we got the viewership bump, so I'll bring it up again, guys. First point, it's BaseTradeTV. Guess what? We cast a little bit different than normal, and I can be a little bit cringy. If you don't like it, feel free to take off. That being said, I also did apologize. The first thing I said when we went live was apologizing because today's going to be extra bad than normal because I got no sleep. I'm literally going into this with like 1 hour of sleep. So, woo! I'm not quite in, I think, grumpy. Like, I haven't crossed into grumpy territory. I'm in exhausted and brain is mush territory. But I will say that if you want to earn yourself a ban and not a timeout, today's the day to do it.
Great. Mods would love that.
Yeah, I feel bad because I don't go on banning sprees, and I don't like. A lot of people seem to misunderstand. I think me more than you, but both of us like end up banning a lot of people in chat. Like, it's not the case. A lot of the times for us, it's timeouts. I rarely go on banning sprees.
For me, it's actually a lot of just responding to someone and then they get timed out.
Yeah, and they
by
assume
the
like
other mods.
Zombie Girl was losing the fight, so she timed me out. I'm so smart and intellectual.
I was actually looking for a fight, and the mods, you know, like a parent, were like, "No, no, Zombie Grub."
Yeah, they're your friend holding you back. Like, let me at him. I got it. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Game number 2. WESG qualifiers continue here on BaseTradeTV. Quick shout out to any of, I guess, our YouTube stuff. If you guys missed any of the action, I know we had some VODs, and I actually want to publicly address that. Some of the VODs yesterday got really messed up. The encoding thing made them all really, really dark for some reason, and I don't mean like we started talking about kids getting murdered or nothing. Like, the screen just gradually got darker, and we have no idea why that got happened. So, small mistake, small hiccup, but they should be fixed here on going forward. And just a reminder that if you do miss any of these games, you can always check them out on BaseTrade or YouTube.com/BaseTradeTV. Because we do upload all of our VODs rather frequently over there. That being said, spawning here on the bottom right side, he's up 1 game. It is going to be the young German player, HeroMarine. So the only player I think left on Mouse Sports for StarCraft at this point.
Yes, yeah. In the top left as the blue Zerg, he is Lambo.
I wonder if Killaris is actually still on it, would be a question too.
He's not.
Okay. So they say normally they have. I don't remember like a public separation or anything like that, but maybe they just like said, nah, it's over. Like, I get it, you get it. Let's move on.
I'm not sure they ever even publicly announced that they parted ways with Deer, like 2 years ago.
They did. That was actually a huge controversy because I knew the manager at the time, and they were getting a lot of accusations that they only hired Deer because they wanted like some easy wins from a Korean and Deer.
Right. Yeah,
and,
I remember that controversy as well, but I don't remember how they parted with them.
That was just a post. It was like a normal thing.
I like their jersey. I like the jacket.
JD Toss in chat, the answer is no because I can't confirm that that's a real thing, and you shouldn't spread lies, bro. I'm waiting for you to read it.
Oh. Is he well, anyways.
Does he not know how secrets work?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's my second follow-up question to my first question. Anyways, so, let's talk about the last game. It really looked in Lambo's favor for quite some time. I mean, they both are making mistakes on the macro front. Like, again, Lambo not getting the +2, I think, is still a mistake. Or, you know, HeroMarine starting his armory a little bit late and whatnot, but HeroMarine still ended up winning. You know, his constant aggression eventually wore out Lambo's probably larva injects, but also I think he just really didn't actually have any money, despite being on like 70 drones. And that certainly came down to, you know, a little bit of the overextension off of the creep, not playing super defensive, not investing in the Ultralisk Cavern, instead investing in a +3 and adrenal glands, I think. And then, of course, you know, the +2 that they had missed out on earlier. But I want to say that, you know, he made it look kind of grim for HeroMarine, yet he won, blah, 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 he sucked, blah, blah, blah. But when he won against Snoots in the Kespa Cup qualifiers, he did so convincingly. Like, it was actually kind of a almost a stomp. Now, Snoop plays a different style. He plays roach-based ZvT.
He plays roach-based bullshit, is what he does.
Yeah, right? And Lambo was not. Lambo was going for lings. It is, you know, different, but I'm gonna say that HeroMarine kind of feels like he's warming up a little bit against the Zerg. Lambo actually ditto for against the Terran, but they're letting these Hellions in the mineral line.
It's almost the same problem as last game, but Lambo's a little bit later. Like a big difference was he didn't pounce the surround, so 11 drones die instead of the barely 12 drones die with that last grenade instead of the barely 5 that we saw last game. This ended up being pretty worth. I would like to point out too, last game it was a terrible opening and he still lost. Like HeroMarine still won despite his Hellions doing almost nothing.
The Hellions really did feel mediocre. 5 drone kills, and then with the army not as hell bad. So it wasn't too great, but he seems to like it. You do get a fairly quick third CC with this. It's not the quickest, but it's also not the latest, because you did like a 2-base push before that. So that is something worth considering. And he even gets it on location too, because he is so confident in his maps scouting and control.
So we just saw some leftover damage from the Hellions. A couple of those drones already kind of low still, so that Banshee cleans up 5 more pretty easily, and this time doesn't die for it. Well, you gotta consider HeroMarine. Really, like the opening for him last game consisted of some sloppy mistakes. Banshees did nothing. Hellions weren't that great. This time around, he's got more Hellions. I'm also gonna guess he'll have an armory better timed out for this attack, and there's just no way this Link counterattacks can get the job done. There's no wall. That kind of sucks, but the Hellions can gap that wall pretty well and very happily take a Ling fight in a choke.
Oh, I'm really glad that Lambo is checking the 3rd base. I was afraid he was just going to go straight to the natural.
Yeah, because if HeroMarine has to actually come out, then this might be a problem for him. Not by much, of course, but still. Always risks that surround. Also risks the wall being completely open, which it presently is.
I think there's enough Hellions. Like, 6 Hellions really shouldn't die to less than 20 Lings, and they don't. But you're right, like if he had got surrounded, that would have been kind of terrible. The Banshees would have helped out a little bit, but it's still like Lings, right? And they run past. But Lambo, I think, was hoping that HeroMarine would only have like 2 or 4 Hellions reinforced, not the entire 6. So he's not going to cancel on that 3rd base, and he still has to deal with the follow-up push, which this time might include the armory. So the Hellbats will be hard to clean up. But Lambo has taken a lot of damage. The drones going down to the Hellions, the Banshees, something more going down too as the Banshees are still alive. The Spore Crawlers that had to be made to deal with the Banshees, also drone kills in a way. Lambo really doesn't have the best game at all. I mean, if we had graphs, I'm sure that we could see that HeroMarine's actually probably been even winning for a little bit.
Yeah.
And now he's so seamlessly transitioned to a 3rd base, transferring over his workers, rallying his workers over there. I'm guessing he still has...
Well, There's actually there's not usually a lot of this to discuss, but the last week of StarCraft 2 for Lambo that we've had him in for some other events like the temporary team league and otherwise, he's not been playing at a computer he's used to. I'm not sure if he's moving or if he's just been hanging out with his sisters, but if you remember, he's got this really terrible computer he's playing on right now that is not so hot. And I'm not going to make an excuse for him, but just understand there is some reasoning to this where, yeah, if you're playing on like a 10 FPS computer, you're going to have a bad time. Like, I don't know what his situation is, but it wasn't looking good last time we saw it. So Pickle in chat says, does Rifkin know when he whispers into the stream we can hear him?
No.
Is that true?
No, we can't. They can't hear you.
Okay, I was worried about that for a moment.
Bluffing.
See, everything I've been brought up was like whispers mean like only one person can hear you. So okay, cool. Glad to know that this was some troll. Banelings are focus fired though.
Yeah, the Hellions actually got a pretty nice splash on the Banelings, and just focusing on the rest of them was actually pretty easy.
Even though this was not a fight that HeroMarine was able to immediately push through with, you still take such a nice lead off of this. A lot of the Banelings being focused down is massive. Speed's finishing up, and there's no Banelings in sight. Not even being made right now. It's all Lings.
HeroMarine should definitely go cancel that 4th base. Is he feeling so confident in his pushing power? Oh, no, never mind. He's going to go for a drop. I thought maybe he would drop to reinforce this, but it looks like he just double dropped off to the right side to get a surprise hit on Lambo's 3rd base. Now, Lambo is spread really thin here. His army supply isn't like what it wants to be. His upgrades surprisingly are still ahead of that of the Terran. considering all the economic damage he did, and that's
I
something you
love.
can try and depend on is like, you know, better lings, but there's not enough of them.
I love the split of the high ground, low ground for that drop too, by the way. The reason that a lot of his units aren't over here, however, is because they did see the other drops coming, went to intercept, not going to be there in time, and now this drop might just kill the spawning pool. Lambo's got to pay attention to this. He starts building a new one just in case.
Yeah. HeroMarine not committing with the other 2 medevacs means that he could just pick up all 4 medevacs worth of units and go somewhere else, somewhere where it's, you know, more room to maneuver, more room off of creep, but he really wants that spawning pool.
I don't blame him.
There you go.
Big gap in production now for Lambo. He's not going to be able to make any lings whatsoever. Lings coming from the backside. He does just pick up, though, and there's no queens, no mutalisks, nothing to shoot this down. And, this is... For me, this is terrible watching this because I have a lot of respect for Lambo, and you guys will always hear me build him up in a cast because I actually genuinely believe he's a great player. I just is not showing this game, and that is that's impressive out of HeroMarine, to be honest with you, a lot more than it is a disappointment necessarily out of Lambo.
Yeah. This is HeroMarine tightening up his build and his macro as well, even better than last game. So certainly the early game damage. That was on Lambo for not defending correctly, but HeroMarine had an even better follow-up to it as well.
Well, reminder, the winner of this goes up against Showtime, so it's still going to be a tough follow-up either way, regardless of who was going to get through the series. Now, maybe a good Bailing Connect changes things up, but oh, that one of mine takes out the Bailings. Still a few more being made, but there's 2 medevacs still fully loaded, ready to push into this base, and Lambo just can't split his forces. It's 48 army supply to 118. Like, there's just no way he can actually trade out enough on one side and have enough left over to deal with the other side.
I like he picked up the Marines with the Banelings with the Marauders. Nicely done there. Round 2 on the left side is coming up anyway. Drops in the main. Of course, the 3rd base under attack here. Not too much damage done. He'll probably just want to consolidate forces on the front, but 2-2 is finishing up as well to put him on even footing against Lambo's Lings. And Lambo just doesn't... He doesn't have that, like, light at the end of the tunnel here. There's no infestation pit for Hive. Of course, not anywhere close to Ultimate's cap. And, he's all starting to run out of Banelings.
Yeah, without I like how you put it, like a light it into the tunnel. No Ultras on deck. There's just nothing to look forward to. He taps out, and HeroMarine will take the series 2-0. Very nicely done.
Indeed.
Okay, that will put him in the winner's match versus Showtime. I actually don't know. Is it 1 player or 2 players will get through this?
2. 1 from top, 1 from bottom.
Cool, so this will be a qualifying match coming up next, I believe. I think TLL is currently facing off against Fear in the losers bracket. This means Lambo falls to fight against Gung Fu Banda. Gung Fu Banda, quite the tough opponent, I will point out. But I'm not sure if we end up casting everything today or if those losers brackets will play while the winners match plays. I mean, it's a best of 5 after all. I'm assuming
the order of
everything plays.
things is that we're gonna cast the losers round next, and then the winners.
Really?
Yeah, then TLO versus Fear.
Okay. I mean, I've got no problems with it. It just seems inefficient, but we'll have to have more games to cast. All right, well, stick around, guys.
Okay, Vampire.
That was not a vampire voice.
Okay.
Okay, no, hang on. Before we go to a break here, then, we need to sort this out. What, in your mind, what's a vampire voice?
The one that kind of sounds like when you speak.
Yeah, so like me putting on a bit of a German accent doesn't sound the same as
it was not German.
Doesn't sound the same as like.
That was German.
How many bats are in the castle?
It was
One
definitely sounded more
bat,
like that.
2
It sounded
bats.
more like that for sure.
3
I get
bats.
Twitch chat's opinion, but they're totally biased anyway.
Yeah, this is not a topic we can default to Twitch chat for. Anyways, we'll be back in 2 minutes, guys. See you soon.